enough of imitating other shows. We have our own show to do.
We do.
Anyways, the main topic of today's podcast is with the college football transfer portal officially, I say this with bunny ears, closed, as in I say closed because you can't enter the portal anymore. But obviously players are still committing, but a lot of the big names are already set in place. Matt and I are going to give our top 5. Matt's going to give his top 5 impact players that went to a new team in the transfer portal. And I'm going to give the top 5 teams that I think benefited the most from the transfer portal. So without further ado, because the transfer portal is all about the individual player first, I think it's only right that Matt go ahead and dive into his top 5 first. So without further ado, take it away, my friend.
All right, Les. Well, the first thing I did when I was working on this list is I looked in the mirror and I said, we've talked about Bear Alexander. We've talked about Shedeur Sanders. We've talked about Travis Hunter so much. So the first thing you're going to notice here, and this is no disrespect, we've just talked about him so much, I was like, no more USC, no more Colorado. We're going to let the Pac-12 sit for a while. They know what they're capable of. They're going to have good teams. And I'm going to talk about some guys that we really haven't had the chance just yet to focus on. So for starters, I have what I'm calling the other 5. I'm going to breeze through these guys really quick. But these are guys who, if there was a top 10 list, they would be my top 10. So these are the lower 5 guys on my list. And I've got Dennis Leary, quarterback, moving from NC State to Kentucky.
Devin Leary.
Devin Leary,
yeah.
I am autocorrect. It doesn't like Devin. It always changes to Dennis.
Well, I don't know which name is better. I feel like they're both kind of corny names.
Yeah.
Devin, yeah. Dennis. Oh, wait, my friend's dad's name is Dennis. That's awkward.
Look what you've done.
I know. I'm a terrible person.
But
my name is Les. You know, whose name is Les? What a lame name.
Les Emerson, Les Baxter.
Les Paul, Les Miles.
See, it's a very popular name for old timers. You're a trendsetter. You're bringing.
I'm just 30 years too late and bringing it back.
You're bringing it back old school. But you know what's not corny? Liam Cohen's offense at Kentucky, and now they've got a quarterback who can run 35 touchdowns last year. Guy who I think is going to help Kentucky contend as Tennessee rebuilds a little bit in the SEC East. But of course, it all runs through Georgia. I said contend, not win. There's a key difference there. They can win 5 games and still lose 2. That's contending. That's not winning.
That's not even why I'm looking at you like this, actually.
Why?
Tennessee's not rebuilding.
Well, they did lose Hendon Hooker.
I mean, Joe Milton looked pretty good in that bowl game.
Does,
and of course,
he does.
And even if he struggles, you got Nico coming off the bench. Or as I like to call him, pajamas.
Pajamas. I guess retooling would have been the more operative word there.
Yeah,
let's go with
let's go with retooling.
In case that retooling doesn't go as well as they think, Kentucky can contend. And even then, worst case scenario, I think they're the 3rd best team around there. Then we got Ernest Hausman coming from Nebraska into Michigan. Michigan's always a good defensive team. You're adding another great player there. And then one less I know that's near and dear to your heart, A.D. Mitchell, wide receiver, comes in from Georgia to Texas. Going to be a huge part of that offense. And another team we've talked about ad nauseum, but a move we didn't discuss. Monty Montgomery, former hard-hitting Louisville linebacker coming into Ole Miss. I really like that move because we focus a lot on their quarterback and offense, but he was a really good, hard hustle guy at Louisville. And in the SEC West, you need all those guys you can get if you're going to try to stop some of these offenses. And
100%.
finally, Carson Strong going from Ball State to UCLA to replace Zach Charbonnet in that offense. I'm really excited to see what he does. A nice, big, physical runner for a Pac-12 team that I don't think another retooling team there. And now, yes, Les, do you have something you want to say?
Before we continue, I wanted to say, in honor of the Kentucky Derby, because Matt and I are Louisville natives, I do want to say that if I had to put odds on that Carson Strong was going to get mentioned on this podcast, I think the odds would have been better than Mages to win the Kentucky Derby.